one we have is Jaylen Wright, Tennessee running back here. Jaylen Wright this past season here, 137 attempts, just over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns, 22 receptions for 141 yards. Tyler, how do you feel about Jaylen Wright?
I personally like Jaylen Wright. I like what he was able to do at the SEC level and in an offense that was coming out of a year with Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt, who just had this crazy pass-happy offense. Jaylen Wright was able to go out and, he was averaging 7 yards a carry. He was dominant in a lot of games against some fairly decent opponents. He went 9 for 90 in a touchdown against Georgia. And that Georgia defense is no joke, right? And so he's got some great ability. We saw a 4.38 40 time. So, some people don't think that 40s necessarily translate to the league. Sometimes they do, but he shows that he has that long game speed if he needs it. He's a guy that he ranked second in all of the FBS and all of college football with 7.4 yards per carry. He's a guy with the size, or he's a guy with pretty decent size. He's got speed. He's sort of just a straightforward runner. He's not going to be a guy that's ultra elusive, but in the right offense, he could really get some good things done. I think that I would say he's a round 3 talent in terms of the actual NFL draft. I have him teetering around my RB3, RB4 right now. Again, just landing spots. That's the whole game that we play right now, because someone could be your RB1 until they go to the Chicago Bears and end up in that backfield. And you just never know what's going to happen. But he's a guy that he uses his speed well. I think he's going to be a good talent. And if he ends up in the right situation on day 2, I think that he could be one of those later second round, early third round guys that everyone just kind of brushes off because he's not this allure of a big name. But also, if you know what you're doing with him, you could get a great, I don't want to say home run, but almost home run pick with him.
I like that. Yeah, I have him as my RB3 right now in this draft process. I know our friend Kyle, he's got him at the RB2, which I don't hate at all. He agrees with you, Tyler. He agrees with you. Jaylen Wright is definitely someone that I really liked watching film on him. He's got the speed to his game now. I think when it comes to 40 times, I don't know if it completely always matters, but for me, it cements a running back who I really liked. And I'm like, all right, show off that speed. And he showed it off like, boom. I like him. He's good. He's set for me in that sense there. Good at pass protection. Just comes off as a natural playmaker. If you watch him on film, the burst, he comes right out of the backfield, pushing through that hole is fantastic to watch there. Vision's good, very decisive, explosive once he gets into open space. Love that about him. Again, there weren't too many things I disliked about him per se. I might probably should maybe put him to 2, but the only things, he doesn't have a ton of experience with his pass catching role. I'd love to see a little bit more out of that. 22 receptions is definitely nice, but besides that, this past season he really wasn't too involved in the passing game. Definitely his frame's a little slighter in that sense there. He was injured this past season. He did get banged up, but he's still young. He's 21 years old here. It's definitely someone who I think doesn't really matter for me personally what scheme he gets put into, because he has experience in multiple schemes there in Tennessee. And he's definitely going to be someone that, I think you said, that could end up rising if he ends up in that situation where he's one of the better running backs in this class here for sure. And I think he can be. And I'm excited about Jaylen right here. So I have him as my RB3, so that's why.
And I think his receiving work is more a product of who was in the backfield with him.
That is true.
You have Hendon Hooker, who is going to, air it out downfield, and then he leaves, and we get Jaylen Wright with Joe Milton, who, if he's not going to throw it 95 yards, he's going to tuck it and try and run someone over. And so I think he showed enough receiving for me to like what he is capable of there. I don't think it shows up on the stat sheet as much as it does in the little intricacies of it. But I think he's a guy that I'm not left wanting more. out of the receiving game in terms of what he already put out. You just kind of wish you had more to see in terms of reps on it.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to say it there. I wish I could have seen more, but I don't think he needed more per se. So I like that.